Hello, and welcome to Virtual Wellness Happy Hour. I am Kai, here with Chevelle. This is our brainchild. So happy that you guys have joined us. Welcome back. Before we dive in, I know it's been a while, so we'll chit chat a little bit before we really get into the purpose of our conversation this evening, or the topic that we're talking about for this month. So if you are new to the Wellness Happy Hour, this is something that we do each month. I think we just didn't do it for the month of, was it February and January? I can't even remember.
Well, we're in February.
So we're in February. I'm sorry. So it was January. I'm thinking March. So we didn't do one for January, but we're back for February. And we're looking forward to our conversation tonight regarding SAD. And what does that mean? We'll get into all that. So before we do that, we want to catch you up to speed on projects that we have been working on as collaborated on, and then things that we've been doing independently. So with that being said, Chevelle, take it away.
Yeah. So God, it's only literally almost 2 months into the year, and I feel like it's been 12 months into the year already. So some of the things I've been working on, last month, January, I started my own podcast, the Embrace Wellness Podcast, where I will have discussions on how to find peace, happiness, and contentment within. I'll focus on how our words and thoughts create a reality. I think that's important now to discuss because so much is happening in this world, so many turmoils, and sometimes it's overwhelming and we can have a bleak outlook. But I try to reassure people, if we changed, our words, and if we focus on doing the right thing and work on our goals, that can change our outlook in the world and also in our life. So you can find that on YouTube channel, the Embrace Wellness YouTube channel, or go to my website, addictionprevention.org, and you can find my YouTube podcast there. And plus, I think I'm streaming in like almost every podcasting streaming platform. So I'm trying to get out there. Also, I added a new service to my business. I do wellness self-care coaching, which is really geared for people with feeling burnout at work or even their careers. And what I will be doing is providing coaching and strategies to help people, to provide them some relief, to come up with an action plan. And with that, I do a small assessment, which is free. The assessment is free to learn more about your well-being and what steps you want to take to become well, to get rid of that stress. So what about you, Kai? What are you doing?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. Last night, I have to tell you, I am a little jumbled right now. So as we continue, and I haven't even had anything to drink, maybe that's the problem. But I'm a little jumbled right now. But what I was trying to say, that I think it was last night, right, because today's Thursday. So last night, had a podcast on, and I was able to interview some remarkable women who shared their story in a book called Shut Them Down, Racism in Corporate America. And so with that, a lot of my attention right now has been focused on the podcast, Healing Element podcast, and trying to just build that and have those conversations regarding trauma, and how to begin to heal from trauma. How do we break intergenerational trauma? And also have a conversation about historical trauma as it relates to the African-American experience. So that's the focus for the podcast. So it's been pretty busy with that. And then Chevelle and I have some joint projects going on, and I will put it in the chat box for anybody that wants to register. There's still time. We're doing the Healing Ancestral Wounds Through Ancestral Wisdom workshop. That's going to be on Saturday. And we also have a spring equinox retreat that's coming up. So tickets are still available for that. I will put that in the description box. So make sure that you register. I do want to say, for the Healing Ancestral Wounds Through Ancestral Trauma, that is a workshop that is specifically for Black women. So we just ask that everyone honors our space and honors our need to come together to heal. But the Spring Equinox virtual retreat, that is open to everyone. So if you're interested in doing an Ayurvedic cleanse, doing some yoga that's associated with the spring equinox, some journaling. And Chevelle's going to be giving tips on how you can continue this process long after the retreat is over. So make sure you register for that, and also do it with a friend. You can forward the link onto a friend, and you both can register. And then the other thing that I wanted to note that I have going on is on March 2nd. I'm having tea with Kaii Marie, and that's gonna be live on Instagram. And the purpose of that is to go over my 11 steps to holistic living. We're gonna talk about how to create healthy boundaries, the importance of view of self, the science behind affirmations, the relationship that you have with your parents, how that impacts your relationships that you have now. So please make sure you tune in for that. And as far as what you'll need, I want you to be nice and comfortable. Bring your tea, bring books, bring paper. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see everything else that you'll need for that session. So that's going to be Tuesday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Kaii Marie LLC Instagram page. So with that being said, we can jump into our conversation tonight. Chevelle, what does sad mean? Oh, you're on mute.
No wonder. Oh, this has been an emotional time for me. I've been so busy. Okay, so you can hear me, correct? Yay. Okay. So what is SAD? Seasonal affective disorder. This is actually a mood disorder that's characterized by depression that occurs at the same time every year. So usually around the winter time, depending on where you live in the world, some people go through this every year. This occurred in climates where there's less sunlight at certain times each year. I know that feeling. I'm from upstate New York. We have that probably 9 months out of the year where there's a lack of sunlight. And when you're experiencing this, you might have some fatigue. Depression is a big one. Feeling hopelessness, social withdrawal, mood swings, loss of interest, lack of concentration, and also weight gain. And I can tell you, I'm from Syracuse, New York. We always win. This is one of the things with Syracuse. We win the Snow Shovel Award. I guess we should be proud about that. I don't know. But we usually get over, what is it? I know it's over 100 inches of snow every year. So that's a lot of snow. And with that, you have, it gets dark around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And that is your life. Sometimes, is really too much you can do if there's a 12, like a foot of snow or 2 foot of snow to travel around. So a lot of times you can, say, I'm just going to stay in. And that's when the social withdrawal kick in, weight gain because you want to eat bonbons and drink hot cocoa. I know I did. So, but this can be a real issue for people. And one of the things that I think Kaii probably would talk more about is the holistic part of it. You're going to talk more about, I think, the mind, the body, the therapy treatment. So I'm just going to talk about some treatment options. Kaii, do you have any experience with the seasonal affective disorder?
I do. Also, being from Syracuse, when I was younger, I enjoyed the winter because it meant no school. Sometimes in Syracuse, sometimes we were as tall as the mound of snow and we were still catching a bus to go to school. But when there were times that we didn't have to go to school, it was more like a fun time, playing in the snow. My father used to take us shoveling to earn some money, even though he used to do most of the work, but we used to go shoveling with him. So it was enjoyable. But as I got older, it started to be more of an inconvenience. And how I looked at it before as something fun and enjoyable, I just looked at it as just something that was obnoxious and annoying. It's cold. I got to walk to the train station. So that led me to feeling, that did affect my mood very much so when it was cloudy, not even always snow, just kind of cloudy, overcast. I definitely noticed my mood shift when it was sunny. And especially in the summer, like my favorite season is the summer. It's not spring, fall, of course, winter, not winter. I just love summer. And so as I got older, I realized just even right here living in North Carolina, we've had this really cold spell. And I was walking around grumpy because I was like, I thought I came down here and it was going to be sunshine and warm weather. And it's been cold and rainy. And I have felt that over the past few days, the sun has come out, and I have definitely felt my energy has picked up and has gotten a lot better. And I feel more motivated to even do things than I did when it was kind of cloudy, overcast, and rainy.
Yes, I understand. And just to let you know, this is not typical for North Carolina weather. So, unfortunately, this is your first experience, but hopefully this is not the norm. So I think it's important let's discuss some treatment options because this affects a lot of people. Some holistic treatment, that things we can do, light therapy. I remember where I worked in a hospital, I had a coworker, Mary. She really was affected with the winter and going to bed dark and waking up dark. So what she had in her office was a lamp. And it's called light therapy. It replaces the sunlight. It's a light box. And I remember seeing this. I'm like, Mary, does this really work? And she said, yeah, it really helped her a lot. It mimics the outdoor light. So basically you put this on for, I think you can do it up to 30 minutes to 2 hours a day. And you actually get some benefits from it. This light produces 20 times brighter light when compared to a typical indoor light. So it's really replicating what the sun provides. And that helped because that sun actually changes the endorphins in your body. So to make you feel better. Another thing, and I know this from experience, vitamin D. So taking vitamin D, I would always say to consult your doctor first before taking any type of vitamins because you might have overproduction, underproduction. It might interfere with other things going on. So always talk to your doctor first. But vitamin D, from my experience and also from research, shows that that it actually helped people that is experiencing SAD. Usually with the seasonal affective disorder, you are producing less vitamin D, which is a vitamin D deficiency. And just to let you know, with African Americans, we are prone to have a deficit of vitamin D in our system. So I'll always encourage you. This is why I always tell people, when you go get your annual physical, and I hope you're getting your annual physical, always get a vitamin D test. It's just a simple blood test, and they can tell you if you're deficient. So by taking vitamin D, it actually helped with depression. I've struggled with depression before, and vitamin D absolutely helped me. But this is also something you can do if you know that the winter months is coming. This is something you can do to be proactive and start that vitamin D process in the beginning. Go to your doctor, get the blood test, talk to them about vitamin D, and see if you can start taking that to help you before the winter months come on. So I would encourage you to check your vitamin D. It usually, one of the things that helped, I can speak from, my experience, that has helped me. The next thing, what I want you to look at is your diet. Research have found diet can also help with SAD. Consumption of processed food can prevent you from receiving all the nutrients in your body. And I think we know that. I mean, of course, I love potato chips. And I probably can eat a bag of potato chips every day. Don't tell nobody, but I can. I love it. If they told me I couldn't eat potatoes for the rest of my life, I'm like, Lord, take me now, because I'm gonna eat me some potatoes. But but what you have to understand is, of course, moderation is the key. But so one of the things that you can do on your own, not only with the vitamin D in the light box, is to check your diet for that processed food. And what you can replace it with is fresh fruits and vegetables. That should help as well. Kai, you're going to talk about the mind-body therapies?
I'm going to go over mind-body therapy.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add with the vitamin D? I don't know. Have you ever had your vitamin D checked?
Years ago, and it was low, so I have to take vitamin D supplement.
Yeah,
I do have to take that.
Yeah, I can tell you, mine was so deficient. I believe it should be around 30 is the number. I have been low as 10, My daughter has been lower than that, and we had to be placed on a regimen of 50,000 IUs. That's the how they determine the levels of vitamin D. And I think I was treated on high doses for 6 months. But I can tell you, I noticed a difference in my mood. I noticed a difference with the way my body felt. So I would encourage you to get your vitamin D checked.
No, totally agree. This is, especially for people that, as you said, in the African American community, when we are the ones with the deficiency, and we can see how vitamin D deficiency can lead to a lot of other issues. So that's one thing that is avoidable. Mm-hmm. But as Chevelle said, I'm going to go into the mind-body therapies. And mind-body therapy is basically just looking at your body as a whole being, looking at your overall well-being, how the mind, body, spirit connects. And there's a few different type of therapies that work with that. I will let you know of the ones that I have done, the ones that I have not. Actually, I think acupuncture, but Chevelle, you said you did acupuncture before, right? Okay, so you can speak to that. So really quick, acupuncture is a type of that's found under Chinese medicine. And so this is a type of service that you have the little needles that they use. And basically, I love how an acupuncturist I actually interviewed on the Healing Element podcast. I love how she explained that with using the needles and putting them at different points in the body, that allows flow and energy to move through your body. So a lot of times we have blockages. Energy blockages, emotional blockages, things that we're eating. If we're eating a lot of dairy, that can cause blockages in our body. So that's why a lot of times after you have, anytime you have your acupuncture appointment, you're always told to get hydrated, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids to start to flush your body and rid your body of any toxins that you may have, because how the needles are placed, that's starting to move those toxins away from your body, and then you just flush it out. Obviously, when you go to the bathroom. So that's why that's why it's so important what Chevelle had mentioned about your diet. And also, how are your energy levels? And sometimes I will say this, a lot of times if we have different type of pains in our body, we'll think that it's a physical issue only, but it actually could be something emotional. So there are people that use acupuncture for depression. And so that's why something like SAD works. Also under this type of Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, is Tai Chi. Again, this is all about moving the body, that mind, body, spirit connection. So when you're moving with the breath. So those are all important elements to make sure that you are overall well. Breathing is a huge component, so meditation. And so when you meditate, one thing that I like to do when it's kind of gloomy out and it's hard to find sun, when there is sun, if I have a peak of sun, I try it, and it's visible in my home. I try to go to that area and just do a quick meditation. Just kind of let the sunlight shine on me, because that feels so good. It feels so warming. And if maybe it's overcast, but it's still warm outside, you can go outside, get a little bit of that sunlight before the clouds kind of cover over. So any way that you can get a little bit of sun, that would be great. But as Chevelle had mentioned, using the artificial light is another means to do that. But anything that's focusing on that whole mind, body, spirit connection is important. And the thing is, you don't have to do it alone. There is an app that I use called Insight Timer. And the thing that I like about that is that it's like a community that you can have. You can follow different people on the app. And then it also tracks, your consecutive days that you've used the app. And there's been times where I finished meditating and someone would send me a message and say, "Oh, thanks for meditating with me." So those are all nice little features that it has that can help you if you're feeling a little alone, a little isolated during these winter months. Before I go any further, though, Chevelle, I know that you did. You had acupuncture before. Did you want to speak to the benefits that you felt for that?
Yeah, believe it or not, I use acupuncture to help me with cravings to stop smoking cigarettes. And I was reluctant. I'm one of those type people. I don't believe it until I experience it. And it actually helped with the cravings. And I want to tell people acupuncture doesn't hurt. Some people say, I'm not getting needles stuck into me. But what I want to say is that when you do feel uncomfortable at certain pressure points, that's a blockage. So I can give an example. I had acupuncture done in my ear, and in the middle of my ear, they say that is connected to my lungs. So again, I was using acupuncture to help me with the cravings from smoking cigarettes. So when they would put that needle there in the middle, it did pinch. But what I always thought was amazing is I think I would do it for maybe 30 minutes every morning. When I would be so relaxed, the needles would pop out. And they were telling me that's telling me that my body, that muscle is relaxed. And I'm telling you, I did not have any cravings. And I've tried to stop smoking cigarettes several different times, but I didn't want to use a medication. I didn't want to, do Nicorette. I didn't want to chew any gum. I tried this and it really worked. So there's a true benefit for acupuncture. I love it.
Awesome. And so the woman who and thanks for sharing that, Chevelle, and the woman that is licensed acupuncturist here in Charlotte, she has actually been posting on her Instagram of clients that she's worked with who have fertility issues. And they've been able to see benefits that way. So that's something that I, definitely recommend checking it out. As Chevelle said, don't let the needles freak you out. But just if that's something that is of interest to you, definitely try it out. So mention Tai Chi, yoga. That's what I'm more familiar with. The type of yoga that would benefit you most, that depends on your personality type. But restorative yoga, hatha yoga, any type of gentle flow is really awesome for SAD, again, because it's causing that mind-body connection. When you're doing like a vinyasa flow, that is fine, but it's a little bit faster pace, maybe a little bit more, it can feel more like an exercise, which is also good. There's a time and place for everything. So maybe in the morning, a nice like 15-minute vinyasa flow to get the heart rate up, get you moving, and then maybe to wind down, maybe to end your day with a nice restorative flow. When I say restorative, that's using yoga blocks, yoga bolsters, using yoga blankets or a blanket that you have. On my YouTube page, the one that's Yoga Flow channel, I want to say challenge, Yoga Flow channel. There I think I did post a bedtime yoga that you can do. And for that, I use pillows. So it's all finding exactly what you need for your body. And if anyone says, oh, I can't do yoga, I don't know how to do yoga, all you need is your body, for you to listen to your body and see what poses feel good for you. You should not feel any pain. You should not be in discomfort. You shouldn't hear anything pop and crack. None of that should happen. It's all about listening to your body and doing flows that help you begin to initiate your body's relaxation response. And that's specifically to restorative yoga. And so it shouldn't hurt you in any way. It should actually help calm you and relax you. So that's something I definitely recommend. With restorative yoga, you can use some essential oils that can also help with SAD. So you can use that as well. You can use incense. I love incense. So that's something else that you can also use to help begin to relax your body. See, I think those are and I also want to mention too about mind-body therapies, what we've mentioned. Talk to your insurance carrier, your primary care doctor, your specialist, because many of these services can be covered by your insurance, even yoga, even the Tai Chi. You may think like yoga, like how would that get covered? That's definitely something that can be covered. Meditation classes, you can see if that's covered too. So start to have a dialogue with your doctors and also with your insurance providers to see if these are services that can be covered.
Kai, I want to mention, when I was in New York, I found out that my insurance that I had cover massages once a month. And every 6 months it would renew. So I could technically get a body massage paid by my insurance company every month. So yeah, I didn't even find out to one of my coworkers said, I was talking to someone and they told me they got massage and insurance paid for it. So I'm quite sure probably now our jobs, that job stopped paying for it, because that spread through wildfires through our office. All the women were making appointments to get us massage. So yeah, check your insurance company. Believe it or not, holistic way of approaching treatment is becoming big, and insurance companies are looking at it because actually it costs less than pharmaceutical medications.
Very true. And, I'm happy to see that there is a trend towards that integrative approach to care, to medicine, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with prescriptions. If that's the mode that you have to take, you have to do what you have to do is best for you. But I like that people are feeling like they have options. And now, because this is becoming more common, this whole conversation about holistic care, wellness, whole person care, now people are going to start to feel more comfortable having the conversation with their doctor. Because I know, Chevelle, when we did the workshop a while back, when we were talking about, as far as people talking to their doctors, like the percentage of people that were having conversations with their doctors about integrative approach to care, which is mind-body therapy is one of those approaches, it was extremely low. And typically people were waiting for their doctor to tell them about it, instead of them bringing it to their doctor and say, hey, I'm interested in this. What do you think? And we found that doctors were not really bringing it up to their patients. Not that they necessarily didn't want them to do it. They didn't know a lot about the different type of integrative care. So I'm happy the conversation is starting to occur more frequently. We're starting to see a lot more workshops about it, articles written about integrative care. So this is all positive. We're moving in a very much so a positive direction. So really happy about that.
Do you want me to talk about the walking, what that does to the body? Or are you going to talk about that? Want me? Okay. So one of the things, like Kai said, it's nothing wrong with taking medication if that's the route you're taking. I think you should do whatever works for you. Everybody is different. But what I want to talk about a little is the physical exercise that you can benefit from with the mind, body, and spirit, like Kai was talking about. And one of the things that we know through research, they said that 20 to 30 minutes a day of physical exercise can increase serotonin levels in the brain. Now, do you know what serotonin is? That is your natural mood stabilizers. So I love science. I could talk about the brain all day long. But you have to think about the serotonin is what make us feel good. It's the feel good endorphins in our brain. So if just like they give you medication to help you feel better if you're experiencing depression or anxiety, is acting like that serotonin. Just know that your body actually produces that and can create it. So by walking 20 to 30 minutes a day, that can help increase the serotonin in your body, which is great because that chemical helps with sleeping, eating, and digesting food. And believe it or not digesting your food properly can really affect your body. And like Kai talked about, is getting the toxins out. That's what that digestion does. Drinking fluids. When I talked about less potato chips or less foods that are processed, and more fruits and vegetables, because that help with the digestive process, which help you create and build more of that mood stabilizer, the serotonin in your body. That's something we can do on our own. And again, some people don't produce enough of it for various reasons. And if you can't produce enough of it, that's when you talk to your doctor and they can help you with that.
Yeah, and so I really like just the conversation that we're having is, talking to your doctor, having that dialogue, just so we know we don't have to go to our doctor when there's something like And when I say major, I'm not trying to reduce if you do suffer from SAD, right? But it doesn't have to be a huge, it doesn't have to be a crises situation to go and have a conversation with your doctor. Just a simple conversation of, this is what's going on. I'm noticing my mood is kind of up and down when the season change. And you can talk about it, and you don't have to feel strange about it, weird about it. Don't have to feel like, oh, I'm being too sensitive. Have the conversation, because if you are imbalanced internally, that can cause issues in your relationship. And when I say relationship, I'm talking about at work. It could be at home with your children. You maybe some days you don't even feel like getting out of bed, which if you have to go to work, that could definitely impact your job. And even now, right, even though we're going to Zoom, and your computer or your job may be like a few feet away, and you can't even do that. So definitely have the conversation with your doctor, and maybe even a therapist as well. So the important thing is that you begin to speak on what exactly it is, how you're feeling, what you're going through. So that way strategies can be provided as a way to overcome them. So never feel that you're alone. Hopefully the information that Chevelle and I are providing to you, you know that you're not alone in this, that there are solutions to how you're feeling. You're not weird. It's nothing awkward. This is an actual thing. And there are some different strategies that you can use to try to manage and deal with it. One thing that I keep telling Dwayne about, I'm like, I'm ready to go someplace tropical after this winter. I know you said, Chevelle, that this was kind of like a not typical of Charlotte, but at this point, I'm like, I gotta go a little bit further somewhere else, because I need warm weather all year round and the sunshine as much as I can get it. But with that, there's pros and cons to that, right? If you're going someplace tropical, you're going to deal with hurricanes and everything else. So I guess there's finding that balance with that.
I'm with you. And when you go on, girl, I'm gonna be right behind you. So I'm with you on that. I totally understand. And I also want to say, and I think, this is important. You don't have to feel bad. I want to give you permission to get help. I have, when I was doing counseling, some people would say, well, this is how I always felt. Yes, but you don't always have to feel this way. So I really encourage you to take the initiative and talk with your physician. Building that relationship is so important. I'm telling you, every doctor that I've had, I've built a rapport. When I come in, Chevelle, blah, blah, blah. I mean, of course, I'm a talker too, but I want to have that relationship with them. I want them to know me. So when I'm out of character, they'll know, because I've cultivated that relationship with me. I think that's so important. And also, when you have a good relationship with your physician, 9 times out of 10, you're more likely to go to your physician when you don't feel anything, because you're not going to feel judged. And also, I want to give you permission. If you don't like a doctor, fire them and get a new one. I have done that several times. If I'm not comfortable, if I'm not feeling that they're listening to me. Kai, we've talked about this in a training we did a few months ago on ethics in the medical field. And a lot of times when we have statistics to prove this, that Black people are not listened to by their physician. So if you are a minority and you feel that you're not being listened to, you're telling your doctor what's going on, because at the end of the day, you know your body better than anyone else. Find another doctor. You do not have to suffer. And it's okay to find another doctor. There's tons of them out there that's willing to see you.
Very true. You have to make sure that your doctor is invested in you and makes time to listen to you. And I know in this world it's really hard, because sometimes when you do go to doctor, it can feel like it's kind of like an in and out rush. Hurry up and tell me what's wrong. So it is important to find someone that can make time to have a conversation with you and build a relationship with you. Super important. A couple other things I wanted to bring up, and Chevelle, get your opinion. I came across this right before we went on, that as far as people at risk for developing seasonal affective disorder, women are diagnosed 4 times more often than men. Now, many times with depression, for men and women, it looks very different. And for a man to even say that they're feeling depressed or in depression, that's basically not even something that is a topic that's broached. A lot of times men will just kind of go within themselves and try to figure it out on their own, when sometimes women were more expressive and have a conversation. So I say this to say, you can be a man and suffer from SAD. And so again, have a conversation with your doctor, or maybe if you have a specialist, therapist, whomever you entrust to help you with your overall well-being, you can have that conversation. Another interesting thing that I saw, that some people, if there's a history of depression in the family, you can see increase of people that within that family that may suffer from SAD. So what Chevelle said as far as talking to your doctor, another thing that Chevelle really talks a lot about too, is the importance of knowing your family history. So if you know in your family history that there is depression, this is something that you may have noticed within your family, maybe your children. So everything that we are talking about, definitely, if you notice a pattern in your children, you can start to have a conversation with them as well. I think for acupuncture, there is an age. There might be. I think, though, again, I go back to the woman I interviewed. She had said that she did acupuncture. I think they created like a healing circle for this baby that was sick. And they didn't do acupuncture, I think, to the baby, but I think they did it to the mom. And through the mom, because she was still breastfeeding everything, the baby actually started to become well. So they literally created like this healing circle for the baby. So I found that fascinating. But usually there is an age, but you would want to talk to your licensed acupuncturist to find out that information. And as far as age, usually younger adults are at higher risk than older adults. However, because of what I've learned from all of the adult trainings we've done, and Chevelle can talk about this more, even though that's the statistic, there could be more older adults who suffer from SAD, but they're being categorized as having, being old, which means, oh, they're just grumpy. Oh, they're just whatever. So Chevelle, do you want to talk a little bit more about kind of how that stigmatizing, they're stigmatized because they're older?
Ageism. That's what it is. It's ageism. What I've learned through my experience, the work that I do, is that a lot of time, first is ageism. So the doctor will say, oh, this just, Mr. Jones is just a grumpy old man. But we do know that, especially for males, depression can look like agitation and anger. But also you need to consider the age group, because back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, it was the mantra, a real man don't cry. A man will stand up and do this. And women, we were taught, and we're still taught to just smile and be pretty and not talk about your feelings because no one cared. Or if you look in the history books, they talk about being hysterical instead of really what the issue was. So I think you will see that a lot. I know when I do talk with older people about anxiety, I talk about depression. I can't say it's depression in the beginning. I just talk about the actual symptoms. Are you having a hard time sleeping? Are you having a hard time concentrating? Are you feeling constipated? Do you have diarrhea? Because we know this is all symptoms of depression and anxiety. And again, with depression and anxiety, they go hand in hand. Usually someone that is suffering from anxiety is also suffering from depression and vice versa. So I think I see that. I even had to talk to doctors because it's unfortunate. A lot of doctors is not trained in how the older body works. So if you do have a mom or a dad, or you're an older person, I would say, 55 and up, seek out a geriatric doctor because they are trained in how the body age, and we age differently. We metabolize medication differently. We respond to things differently. So yeah, it looked very different, and the numbers it's actually higher than what we see with the depression, anxiety in older people, because they just don't talk about it, and that's how they've been conditioned to not to talk about it.
Very true. So that was some excellent advice, especially for people that are listening that are caregivers, or if you're working with the older adult population. Keep an eye out for what many of your colleagues may be determining that, oh, that's just them being grumpy and old, that's just their personality type. Sometimes you do have to dig a little deeper to really find out what is going on. So if anybody has any questions, comments, make sure you drop them in the comment box. And also make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, and share. And now I think, Chevelle, we're just going to kind of some tips that people can start doing now, that they can integrate into their daily living now. And so that way, if you're like, I don't know about the yoga, I don't know about acupuncture, I don't know about all that y'all talking about, this mind, body, what? So don't even worry about it. Start with where you are. And so that could mean in the morning that you wake up and just have a sense of gratitude. That's it. Right now, it's actually soon coming to an end. On my Instagram page, I've done over the past few days the Holistic Living Challenge / giveaway. And the whole purpose of that was to help people begin to take steps, to begin to learn how they can live a more holistic life. And sometimes when we think that, like, oh my God, I got to raid my refrigerator, I have to go out and buy brand new everything to kind of fit how the media likes to show us what holistic living means. But it's like, no, it's just starting to make those incremental changes. And so that could mean maybe yoga is like, listen, I don't want to get on the floor. I don't have a yoga mat. I'm not about that life. That's fine. There is chair yoga, but let's say yoga is not your thing. Maybe in the morning, it's just, I just want to take 5 minutes to show some gratitude that I'm able to even wake up and breathe. And I will say, during this whole coronavirus pandemic, the ability to breathe, I no longer take that for granted. Not that I necessarily I've had coronavirus, but just seeing what this virus does to people, it has hit me personally with people in my family. And just the whole thing of being able to wake up, to breathe on my own, that's no longer anything I take for granted. And so part of my morning even if I don't do a full 15-minute or so meditation, I will take a moment to just give thanks for waking up, for the ability to breathe. So in the morning, if you can just show a little bit of gratitude, something that you're thankful for. Maybe you don't like the job that you have to go to, but maybe it's like, I'm just thankful that I woke up so I can find me another job. You can look at it that way. So just meet it to where you are. But starting each morning that way, it definitely helps to set your mind, your body, and your emotions in the right, kind of get you all lined up and able to receive what may be coming your way when you kind of enter and start your day in a day of gratitude.
Yeah, thank you, Kai, for saying that, because I think just by waking up and saying thank you that I woke up, because there's many people that did not, can automatically start your day on a good note. So thank you for saying that. Another thing I think is important is set one and only one goal for the day. Trust me, I have to constantly work on this goal, and I know Kai do too. Is sometimes we can actually inundate ourselves with more stress by wanting these huge to-do lists. I would do these to-do lists. I would need like the front and back page, and realistically, I can't complete that. So if you just start off with one goal for the day, that is better than what you did the day before. It's just, you can get something done, but you don't have to burden yourself to get everything done at one time. I heard something last night. I don't know if it was through a meditation thing I was listening to, but it said, nature take its time, but it still get the job done. So in nature, you might look at a flower sprouting and opening up, and it's so slow, but at the end of the day, that flower actually grew and opened up. It took its time, and it's beautiful. So just remember that, and not to inundate yourself with huge to-do list, just one thing at a time, one day at a time, one goal at a time. And when you complete that goal, you have the next day, you can complete another goal. You don't want to be in overdrive. Did you want me to go to the next one, Kai? You're on mute.
You can do that one.
I saw your lips moving. I'm like, I don't hear. So making a morning plan with a friend, I think this is important. Again, like we talk about SAD, seasonal affective disorder, and social withdrawal is big. So, depression can lead to isolation. You can be disconnected and shut off. And we see this during COVID because of the social distancing. Things that a lot of people typically would do they cannot do because things are closed. We can't congregate. So, I think, but you can go outdoors, and making a morning plan with someone, so you're able to connect. I would say you can make an appointment to go for a walk, to do that holistic stuff. And having a friend, having a partner to help you set a goal, like in the morning plan to do stuff, that's almost like an accountability partner. That person's going to look and say, wait a minute, you said that we're going to do this and we're going to do this. So just being held accountable can be helpful. Taking them with you on your journey, and also is keeping you social, keeping you active. And that's, I think, having an accountability partner can be very useful in many things, just not setting goals for ourselves, but just being, when we sometimes get in those moods and we want to work on things, just having that partner, that friend that you can trust to say, you know what, you're doing this, let's work on this, let's do this. So having that accountability partner, making a plans, that's something good. And also, I think, and I see this, to bring up older people a lot, you will see this a lot. And I've noticed it more probably because I work with older people. Every morning, when I was driving to work, now I'm working from home, I would drive past either a Hardee's or a McDonald's, and I would see a ton of older people in there every morning. And this is big in the farming community. I work in a rural area, and farmers are very connected. They meet every day for coffee at the same hour, and either for coffee or for breakfast. And that person is almost like accountability, because if that other farmer don't show up, trust and believe by the end of the day, another farmer is going to knock on the door to check on them. So I think that's so important. When that's another way to cultivate real relationship with people. And even when you're not feeling well, you always have someone to check up on you with that accountability partner.
I love that. That's so important, especially we can feel very isolated right now. And so having that person when you don't feel like getting up, if they live with you, if they don't, they can still motivate you. If you guys have a set time, it's like, okay, we both said 2 o'clock. Every 2 o'clock, we have in our calendar, maybe it's once a week, twice a week, but you both put in your calendar and maybe even call each other while you're there. Girl, you out walking? Yeah, I'm out walking. So do whatever you have to do to help motivate each other. And Chevelle, I could just do the last tip real quick. I know we're coming up against time. The last tip is to forgive yourself for the bad days. And if you want to know more about the tips, I just put the link in the description box, or the comment box, I should say. So make sure you check that out. This is something that I love this. Forgive yourself for the bad days. And I think that this was in the book that I read, The 4 Agreements, when Don Miguel Ruiz said, your best may look different depending on the day. Right. So you may have one day where it's like, when Chevelle was talking about having the list, the checklist of things, there may be a day where it's like, I got through everything on my list. I don't have many of those days, but when I do, it is meant to celebrate. And because maybe I had the energy to do it or something, things were just kind of flowing in a way that I could get it done. And there are some days where I got maybe 2 things done, and I'll beat myself up about it. But I'm not putting that into context that maybe I didn't get enough sleep that night. Maybe I had a lot on my mind. maybe, that there was just, for some reason, I had a lot of, it was a little bit more challenging to get things done that day. So always, be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. You want to make sure that you are actively trying to accomplish your goals, but know that your best may look different for each day, depending on what you have going on. If I hardly got any sleep the night before, I'm exhausted, maybe I'm dealing with a lot of other issues that are weighing on me emotionally and mentally, accomplishing those 2 goals, that could be a celebration. So forgive yourself for those bad days, if you will, and just know that, okay, I didn't accomplish everything. That's okay. I can try again tomorrow. Or maybe I have too much stuff on my list. Maybe the problem is that there's too many things that you're trying to get done. And maybe it's time to kind of step back and say, wait a minute, let me reassess, because maybe I'm putting too many demands on myself. So Shiva, anything you want to add about that forgiving yourself?
Yeah, just have grace for yourself and understanding. And that will take you a long way. You're human. You're going to be tired some days. I will tell you, one of the things I do like about wearing a mask when I'm having those rough days, I will still go to the store because I have to go grocery shopping, but I may not have makeup on and my hair might not be done, but I have a mask on, a face mask. You won't know it's me. But, I just look at, just have grace and understanding, because, just getting up, getting your kids ready for school is an accomplishment, and it is okay if that's all you can do for that day. Don't beat yourself over it, because you know what? You have tomorrow. You can complete another goal.
Very true. So we are winding down our wellness happy hour for the month of February. Ciao, I thought I was in March. I didn't know what was going on when we first started, but this is definitely February. And our next wellness happy hour is March 25th. Right here. Next time we will be on my Facebook page, and then also on Chevelle's Facebook page, because she will share the information there. When we do go live, it's, why we're not on Facebook Live? Confession time. I had too much on my to-do list. So I neglected to go back. The platform that I use is StreamYard. I neglected to go back and make sure that I hit the notification to also have this broadcast on Facebook. So instead, right, I was beating myself up. I was like, God, you forgot again, blah, blah. I had to take a moment, and this happened actually during this happy hour, where I was like, you know what? I think I had too many things going on at once. And so because of that, the result was not broadcasting live on Facebook. So that's a note to myself that I need to slow down and stop trying to do too much. So that is what I have learned. But please be sure to join us on our Facebook page. You can see right on the screen our Facebook pages, and make sure you join us on March 25th. I think the topic we haven't confirmed that yet, right?
No. And this is another thing. I actually realized that I was supposed to be live like 20 minutes before live. And again, like Kai said, he's just having a lot on your plate. But I think, again, we sometimes are each other accountability partner. And I never want to let Kai down when I commit to something with her. And I feel she does the same with me. So that's just an example of what we were trying to convey today is the importance of that. But no, I know it's going to be on holistic living. Right? I think we agreed on that, but we don't know the exact name of the topic, but it will be good. I know that.
Yes, it will be good. It will be a good conversation, and we'll be on Facebook, and we'll be on YouTube. Yeah. So it's going to be great. And so I guess thanks everyone for joining. Chevelle, as we close out, is there anything that you want last bit of information that you want to provide to people that are listening now and will be listening after we go live?
No, the only thing is to check my YouTube channel for the Embrace Wellness podcast. Next month, my topic will be women empowerment. I'll be interviewing some very strong women that made a decision to put their life in a direction and the path they want. So that should be interesting. I should have the first episode up next week. And I think you've already shared what we're doing, that's just a little bit of what we're doing. We shared today. Yes, the ancestry trauma. That will be good. That will be Saturday.
I'm looking forward to that one. Let's see if I can get the little thing off. Go away. There we go. I'm looking forward to that one. It has been a heavy lift. As Chevelle and I have said before, anytime you're preparing for a workshop such as this, where you're talking about trauma, especially trauma that you connect with, it is tough. So I'm looking forward to the workshop and then just taking a moment to pause after, because it is just reading the material and preparing. It's a lot, right? Because it's not as though the trauma happened and now we are kind of in this space and time where there is no racism and we're no longer being traumatized as a community. It continues, and that makes it that much more challenging. So these type of workshops are also healing for us and therapeutic for us. It's just a lot to prepare for. So if you are listening and you are part of the Black community, please make sure you do register. Again, we just ask that you respect the space for Black women. This was a healing workshop that was created for Black women by Black women. So we ask that you do, just allow us to have that sacred time. And then this is the spring equinox virtual retreat that we have coming up. So I'm excited about this one too. I'm looking forward to the Ayurveda cleanse. I have not done an Ayurveda cleanse before, so I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait. We can have the retreat where this picture is located.
I know.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm excited. With all of the stuff we're doing, healing, helping one another, doing everything with purpose. I'm just excited.
Mm-hmm. I am too. These are two great workshops. One's a workshop, one's a retreat. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think lastly, the only thing that I want to mention is make sure you go to my website, kaimarie.com, and you can see the different events that I have going on there. I even have something for the men called the Return to the Kings. So that is a virtual event that I do a few times a year. So we just finished up the last Return of the Kings on Sunday. So make sure you check out that whole series on my page, on my YouTube page, the Healing Element Podcast. And as I said in the opening, make sure you join me on my Instagram page, Kaii Marie _LLC. And this little event, this little live Instagram event I'm doing is called Tea with Kaii Marie. And we're going to talk about how you can begin your holistic living journey. I have some principles that I have lived out in my life, continue to live out, and I think that they will be helpful for you. So make sure you join me Tuesday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And also go to her Instagram and check out her TikTok.
Oh gosh, TikTok.
I watched one today. I'm like, I give it to you, but yeah, check out her TikTok. It is really good.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I forgot about TikTok. If you're on TikTok, my TikTok handle, I don't even know if it's called a TikTok handle. I could have just made that up, but the name of my username thingy, I'm totally dating myself right now. But anyways, it's called A Dose of Wellness. So if you're on TikTok, you can go there and probably get a laugh at me trying to be, I don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to learn TikTok.
My daughter follows you. She found you and follows you on TikTok.
Really?
Because she
There's like 2 people that follow me. So
She's one of the
So help me build up my TikTok following. I just opened up the account, so go over there and check it out. Try to have fun with healing. A lot of this work is very heavy and challenging, so I try to add a little humor to all of this, just so that we can make it through the day.
Yes.
All right, so I guess that's it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I hope everyone has a great night. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Make sure you check out the links that were posted in the comments for the retreats, and also to get more information on how you can start your day, what you can incorporate your day, if you suffer from seasonal affective disorder.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. And I hope everyone have a great night. And I can't wait to see you again in March.
Yes. Good night, guys.
Bye.